Just for, yeah, my presentation has crashed. 1 second. Sorry for the delay. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. I'm doing Facebook live settings. Ashish sir, go for YouTube. Over to you, Ishita ma'am.
Shall we begin, sir?
Yes.
A very good morning to all of you. I wholeheartedly express my greetings to you all on the second day of the 5th induction program of MIT-ADT University. The theme of today's program is Essentials for Holistic Wellbeing. In this program, we have with us Master Trainer, Cambridge University. We are truly privileged to have the blessings of our founder, President, Honorable Professor Dr. Vishwanath G. Karad, sir. We would also like to welcome Honorable Executive President of MIT Art, Design and Technology University, Professor Dr. Mangesh G. Karad, sir, Pro Vice-Chancellor Dr. Anand Chakradev, Registrar Dr. Mahesh Chopre, and Director of School of Holistic Development, Dr. Atul Patil, sir. We have the pleasure to welcome all the other dignitaries and convener of the induction program, all the respected directors, deans, principals, mentors, HODs, professors, parents, and our new, keen, and passionate students from all the disciplines of MIT-ADT University. Welcome, everyone. Let us all make this journey unforgettable and momentous for all of you. Dear students, you must have noticed that at MIT, we always start our programs with a prayer, that is World Peace Prayer. Before we embark on our journey of knowledge, we pray to the Almighty to seek His blessings. This prayer is about all caste, creed, or religion. It is an enunciation of peace and humanity. I request everyone to participate in the prayer by folding hands and closing their eyes. May I request our technical team to start the prayer, please?
वेद प्रतिपाद्या जय जय स्वसंवेद्या आत्मरूपा देवा तूति गणेषु सकलार्थमति प्रकाशु म्हणे निवृत्तिदासु अवधारि गोदी गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Thank you, technical team. Dear students, as you have entered the university, we would like all of you to know more about our MIT-ADT University. May I request the technical team to please play MIT-ADT video?
Today's world economy is driven by innovation-led entrepreneurship. The Indian youth aspires to take up this challenge and contribute to India's GDP. MIT, Art, Design and Technology University, Pune is a place for such aspiring innovators and entrepreneurs. MIT-ADT University is a leading futuristic multidisciplinary university with a unique blend of art, design and technology programs, which prepares its students for the future through its cutting-edge programs and grooms them for their prospective workplace through holistic education. The university, in a short span, has been recognized as a distinctive university delivering unparalleled academic excellence under the dynamic, foresighted leaders, enablers and motivators. Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad, founder MIT Group of Institutions, and Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad, Executive President and Vice-Chancellor. With a vast and influential network, extensive research and thoughtful approach, Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad has been instrumental in designing and customizing new specialized UG programs, super specialized programs and initiatives in keeping up with the prevailing employment trends and industry demands. Engineering education at the university, along with the usual engineering branches, offers myriads of specialization like AI, blockchain, cybersecurity and forensics, cloud computing, aerospace, robotics, bioengineering, food technology, marine engineering and nautical science, to name a few. MIT School of Holistic Development transforms students into winning personalities, inculcating in them resilience to face the challenges of the globalized world. Thus, performing and creative arts, communication skills, physical fitness, foreign languages, literature, intercultural studies, seva, spiritual and value education are integral parts of the curriculum. MIT School of Corporate Innovation and Leadership offers bridge courses in professional, soft skills, behavioral skills, employability enhancement skills, quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning and verbal ability based on industry requirements.
Center of Research and Innovation for Young Aspirants, CRIA, has been established with an intention to cultivate scientific temper among students by motivating them to understand and innovate in science, technology, engineering, arts and design.
Semester-wise project-based learning is adopted in the university, and every year best projects or ideas are selected and developed into products for commercialization at this center. Majorly considering the need to usher India in entrepreneurship, MIT-ADT University took a lead and established Atal Incubation Center on the campus and is the first state-private university in Maharashtra to have recognition from Niti Aayog, Government of India. MIT Center for Future Skills Excellence, MIT FUSE, has been established to provide India's working professionals and graduates with an opportunity to further their career through unique online programs in association with global industry partners like Microsoft, AWS, SAP, Tech Mahindra, ATOS, InnoWise, etc. The university has not only positively embraced technologies that drive Industry 4.0, including AI and robotics, but also redesigned the centuries-old model of education for the benefit of students, faculty and staff by adopting digital transformation right from admission process to ERP system. The university was among the first few ones to conduct proctored examinations and declared results on time for students' benefit. MIT-ADT University is admitted to embarking on the journey of empowering its students to lead a meaningful and fulfilling life through an inclination for innovation, having a temperament of compassion for the world around and a passion to become risk takers, entrepreneurs by remaining deeply rooted in human values. MIT-ADT University is one of the front runners in the field of higher education, mobilizing all its resources to provide excellent infrastructure conducive for quality learning experiences in a vibrant atmosphere through our research labs and established tie-ups with leading industries. The state-of-the-art sports complex at the university offers an amazing array of sports clubs to choose from and provide regular coaching and training to impart the virtues of integrity and value system. We heartily welcome you all to this new generation university, where the pursuit of excellence begins.
Thank you, technical team, for the video. I'm pretty sure all of the students are very much excited and enthusiastic to enter our university. The essence of good communication skills and positive thinking for professional life is the topic for today's session. The topic itself is meaningful and thoughtful and will be delivered by Professor Monisha Gupta. But before we begin, I would like to request the technical team to play a short AV of Monisha ma'am. Professor Monisha Gupta is the Principal Presenter of Examinations and Teacher Trainer with the Cambridge Assessments English, University of Cambridge UK, and Senior Product Specialist, Orient Black Swan Private Limited. She has been the resource person with the British Council, Tata Consultancy Services, and Indian Habitat Centre. She was appointed as the Official Communication and Soft Skills Trainer by the British High Commission and National Skills Agency for the Indian contingent to the World Skill Fair in London. Ma'am has been the teacher trainer for Project MP, a joint venture between University of Cambridge and State Government of Madhya Pradesh for empowering college students in English language proficiency for better livelihood opportunities. She has been lead program designer and trainer for Dalmia Bharat's CSR educational project. She was also the curriculum designer for the University of Cambridge UK's digital coursebook English for primary school students. Ma'am has conducted workshops all over India and Nepal covering all state board schools, colleges of higher learning and corporate organizations like Wipro, TCS, HCL, Nestle and many more. She is also the author of almost 30 storybooks for children, teacher manuals and English language proficiency modules for professional institutes. We are deeply honored to have you with us, ma'am. Thank you, technical team, and once again, welcome, ma'am. I would now like to request Professor Monisha Gupta, ma'am, to enlighten us on the topic and request her to take over. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ishita Gadgil, ma'am, for introducing. And technical team, I could have never believed that somebody could make a video like this for me. So thank you so much. And you were talking about the children, the students being excited about joining. I think I, as an adult, was also very excited, and I wish I could also have, this was there available when I was in college and I could have done something like that. So it's very, very interesting to see that the college university is talking about what students can do rather than just boasting about, we've got this collaboration and that collaboration. It was actually footage about what children are doing in the institute. And I think I'm really very impressed with that. Congratulations, all of you. And thank you for having me here. And welcome to all the dignitaries from MIT, as well as the students who are connected online. Welcome to you all, and congratulations as you begin your new journey, a very important phase of your life. I'm sure you're very excited, and we go forward with the session today. My session today is about communication and how it's going to, how we can make it as a tool which can support us in our journey, in our professional lives, as well as in our personal lives. So we are just going to be talking about the importance of communication skills. We will not be talking about the bad skills that we all know, and I'll not be focusing on that. And so straight away, my entire presentation is going to be based on divided into 4 segments. And these segments are, the first one is development of good communication skills, enhancing employability skills, amicable personality with positive communication, how to develop that, and an action plan. So without further delay, I'm going to start sharing my screen so that, can you all see me? All right, just a minute. I'm a little lost here. I cannot see my screen. Ishita ma'am, can you see me? Am I there?
Yes, ma'am, we can see you.
Just give me a moment. All right, thank you. So I'm back here and I'm going to be sharing my screen with you now. Right, can you see my screen?
It's still
Yes,
loading.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
All right, good. So these are the 4 segments under which we will be talking today. And I just mentioned that to you. Why do we need to build good communication skills? So the first is capacity building. And you are indeed very lucky that you have a college which is kind of a trend setter. This is what I came to know from your video. It's like a trend setter. It has a very proactive approach. It doesn't wait for others to do, for the government to take out regulations. It is genuinely interested that its students should be well equipped, that its students should have the right attitude, the right skills, so that when you are independent and out in the world, out of the college, you still reap the benefits of what your college thought for you, your university thought for you. And I think that way you're very lucky. So capacity building, what you're going to do and what you need. So it adds to your skills. And this is a very important skill. The moment someone meets you, the first thing that person pays attention to is how are you communicating? And you create that first impression. Your clothes matter, your looks matter, but your communication skills conveys what are your thoughts, how intelligent you are, how creative you are. And that is why communication skills are very important. 1. Second, to equip you with the right ways of thinking, the right attitude, self-esteem. If I am not able to communicate, I will avoid speaking. I will not be very comfortable when I have to present things. And that leads to a low confidence level. When my confidence level is low, obviously, I'm not very eager to go and participate, to present, to talk to people. So it's important that when I have these skills of good communication, whether be it written, be it oral, I have a good self-esteem. I think high about myself. And please remember, these can be nurtured, these can be cultivated. We are not born with these skills. The third point, why we need to build good communication skills, is for your interviews, for your personal interaction with people. It's not always going to be a written test. In fact, after every written test, they do insist to have an interview, a group discussion, a personal interaction, a face-to-face interaction. And that is why we need to see that we score well here. Because once a written test is taken, it's understood that everybody who's cleared the test has certain level of information, certain level of knowledge. Now, what is beyond that? Was this person only a kind of a bookworm, reading, learning, and he's just vomited it out? Or is he a wholesome personality, a personality who likes to see things, to watch things, who can mingle with people. And that is why we have interviews. And that is why it's important that I'm able to communicate my thoughts effectively. Next is employability and livelihood. Ultimately, the aim of all education should be that I'm able to live a life, both personal and professional, in a prosperous manner, in a harmonious manner. And good communication skills will increase the chances of my employability, especially in a better place. So better skills, better employability opportunities, and of course, better livelihood opportunities as well. Build bridges or building walls. Good communication skills is not just about being fluent, knowing the nice vocabulary or appropriate vocabulary is used. It is also about being tactful. It is also about understanding people. It is also about being careful which words I use, the tone and pitch of my voice. The same words in the dictionary used by one person can alienate everyone around. And we have people like this in our houses, in our homes, in our schools, in our friend circle. Maybe I myself may be like that. And I don't know what to do. I don't know why people don't like me. So I need to pay attention. So my words, my communication should help me build bridges with people, connect with people, and stay connected. But when I don't use them appropriately, I build walls between me and the person in front, around me, cutting myself off from the rest of the world. Communication skills is important. Prosper in personal and professional lives. Any questions? Is the chat box activated, Dipshita ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right. So all those of you, I can see about 300 of you here. Can you just, if you can hear me well and if you agree with all these things, can you write one in the chat box quickly? So I know you're here with me. Ipshita, if you can see the chat box, can you please update me whether people are writing one?
Yes, ma'am, they are. They are.
Oh.
Many of them have written one.
Okay, I can see that chat box running over there. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. That means you are with me and you're listening to me. Good to see that. I'll keep on asking you to write things. So I want you to be active and keep your fingers ready to type in whatever I ask you to. So I've got 53. What about the others? Are you there? 200? 300? Yes. So I want to see some more ones. You need to be alert because good communication skill also means that I'm listening and responding to what is being said effectively. And that is also part of communication. Communication just doesn't mean speaking. It also means listening and responding. All right, good. I see the chat box moving. I'm still waiting quickly for you to move ahead and at least write that one. When we talk about communication, all college curriculum will have a paper on communication skills, even the basic English that you do. So just a basic table about what communication is. Based on communication channels, there can be different channels. You will have verbal and non-verbal. So verbal is, of course, what you speak. And again, in there, you have oral and written. These are all also called exhibition skills. You exhibit your proficiency in the language, you exhibit your thoughts, and that is why they're also called exhibition skills, oral and written. Then you have the non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is the tone and pitch of my voice, my hand gestures, my facial expressions, my body posture. Great books have been written about how the body posture is screaming and telling you what the person is thinking. And once you start paying attention, you realize, yes. And as you proceed, you're all taking the examination for communication skills. And there you will also see you need to pay attention to what words people are using. Where did they pause? And once you start paying attention, you realize you can read between the lines. What is the person saying? but what does he mean? Is he going to do this, or is he trying to bluff me? So all these things become so very easy to understand, and this is all part of communication. Then based on style, formal and informal. So formal, of course, we all know the difference between the two. However, we also need to understand that other than my family and close friends, I need to be more towards formal all the time. You may have teachers in school, in college who are friendly, but they are friendly. You need to respect them. There is a line. And so your teachers are friendly, your professors are friendly, but they are not your friends. You can go and talk to them. You still need to respect them. They may give you all the freedom. You're all adults now. So they will treat you like adults. They will respect you for what you know. They will respect you for your knowledge, for your skills. But I, on my side, also have to respect them and their seniority and understand that I need to be formal in my communication with them. Communication style. The communication style always evolves. It's evolutionary in nature. Why? The way you communicated when you were in the lower classes or when you were younger is very different. In fact, many of you must have decided before coming to college, now when I come to college, I'm going to build my own personal branding in this manner. And their communication is also a very important part. So we evolve. Communication style evolves with age, with situation and occasions. In different occasions, in different situations, we behave or we communicate in a different style. Who is my audience? How am I going to communicate? Am I talking to my teachers? Am I talking to my classmates? Am I talking to some family members? Am I talking to my grandparents? Am I talking to a small kid? Sometimes you even have a pet dog or a pet you're talking to, so you're going to be very different. So my communication style differs. My knowledge level also decides how I'm going to be speaking. The medium which you're using. Earlier, when we used to have a one-to-one session, when you would be sitting in a hall and I would, or a presenter would be there, it would be a different kind of communication style. Now, with all of you sitting in front of your laptops and mobile, the communication style differs. The knowledge, the attention span is very less now because you're looking into a screen, and that's very difficult and there's no action happening. So it's got to become very basic, very simple. So we need to understand how communication style is going to change, also depending on what my audience are doing, how they are taking in this information, and what is the age of my audience. The cultural background, that also decides. We say the British with the stiff lip. So they're going to be very straight. Even if they say thank you to you, they'll say thank you, really appreciate it. But if we have to say that, we put so much of emotion, we say thank you so much. So we put that emotion into my delivery itself. So culture is also going to differ, is going to make a difference in my communication style. The environment and the company I stay with, I will generally start replicating the style of my friends unless and until I'm very sure that I want to stick to a particular style or evolve and go up to a particular way of speaking. Observation and effort. Many a times we are very keenly observing people and we feel this is what I need to do. Look at the words, look at the way the person moves the hands, the way the facial expressions are being used to kind of support the verbal words, the verbal communication. Prevalent of socio-economic conditions. My communication style, whether written or oral, is also a reflection of the socio-economic condition of my time. Let me give you an example. If you ask your great-grandfather, how did they write their formal letter? So they would say, I most humbly beg to state that please grant me leave. If you ask your father, your parents, and they would say, they wrote, this is to bring to your kind attention that I am so busy and so you want to leave or whatever. When you were in school, you said, this is to inform you. the people who are actually in the workforce now. Because earlier we were under the British rule, so we had to most humbly beg to state. That was the social condition. Then when we got independence, still jobs were few. So your senior was very important. So you said, this is to bring to your kind attention. Now, as people are becoming more independent, they feel, I am in this company because of my own virtues, because of my own talent. So you say, this is to inform you. But now the latest generation feels, I am as good as my senior. He is here because he's working. I'm here because I'm working. So I can just say, on leave today. So he just sends a message. So this is also, the communication style changes based on our reflecting a social stratification and the social structure, the changes that are happening there. Are you all with me? Can you understand that? Did you understand this part? Why communication style evolves? If you do, please write, let's say 5. Can you write 5 in the chat box quickly? All those of you agree with everything here. And if you do not agree with something, you want me to explain something, then we'll come back to you. Ipshita ma'am, can you just write down the names of the students who are raising their hands?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Right. So in the end, I will just take their questions. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Ipshita ma'am is making a note of these children and we'll come back to you. And the rest of you, if you think yes, then please write 5. All right. If you agree with all of these points that I've written here. Employability. How do communication skills help in employability? I need to understand that I may be brilliant, but how do I show to the world that I'm brilliant? I need to send information to the others that I'm brilliant. And so I need to build up my skills. I may have the most creative ideas, but I'm not able to speak well. And so what happens? The company will take my idea, give it to somebody who is a better communicator, and the world comes to know that it is he who presented, so he must be the inventor too. So I need to understand whether I'm in college, whether I'm studying, or whether I go into my professional life, that I must let others know of my ideas, my thoughts, and that will only happen when I can write nicely, when I can speak nicely. And that doesn't mean flowery language. That means simple words to express my ideas. And when I'm doing that, again, it depends on what am I presenting. Am I putting in so many words, and is the language so flowery that the main crux of the matter is lost? People are still wondering, what is he trying to say? So don't bother about that. Don't bother too much if your pronunciation is not perfect. Even in the IELTS examination now, University of Cambridge says, if you don't have to say, sorry, I can't understand, repeat it, then it is a pronunciation we will accept. Understand, if I say English is a universal language, that means every continent, every country is using the language, then there are going to be variations. And so if your pronunciation is not very good, work on it, but don't get disheartened. It doesn't matter, right? It's okay. So you may be brilliant, but you can't understand the task, instructions, conversation, accent, words, vocabulary, and of course, your reading. If you cannot read and comprehend, your stamina for reading, how much can you read? Sometimes there's a report of 5 pages and the person is not used to reading. And so the first page and you're tired. My God, I cannot read anymore. The fluency in reading is not very sharp. I keep on stopping. I have to keep on looking up into vocabulary, in the dictionary. So please work on these skills. This is the time you can make mistakes. This is the time you can ask for help. But when you go into your professional lives and your offices, then you should not be making mistakes. And that's important. And that is why they say that we need people who have a decent level of communication skills. Because then if you're sitting in a meeting, You'll not understand what's happening. If instructions are given to you, you will not understand what was the instructions, and you may actually cause a big loss for your company. And that is why employability, all the companies who come look out for good communication skills. In fact, if you see, many of the engineering colleges and even the other organizations have started saying B2 level. About 3 or 4 years back, Infosys had taken students from all over the country, and suddenly it realized that it's still short of about 23. So instead of going all over all into the rest of the colleges again, it just sent out a message to the neighboring engineering colleges saying, we want engineers in this stream, and at the bottom, they should be B2 level English. So those students who had been working, who had got the certification, could immediately apply and get through. Not only that, TCS is also making it mandatory to have B2 level English. They're also talking about that not only should the new entrants have B2 level, we are also going to ask our senior professionals or our senior management people also to get a B2 level. If your juniors are at B2 level, then you better improve your fluency and your proficiency to that level as well. So that's how important it's become to be good in communication. Also, when you are at the same level, you're reading the same newspaper, you're attending the same college, the same classroom, how do you give yourself an edge? And so you need to start preparing by building up these skills, reading up for knowledge. There's a little story which says that 3 friends were there and they all wanted to do well in studies, and it was the last year. And so they said, we really promise each other that we are going to, get the best of opportunity. We are not going to let opportunity go, and we will, really be successful. So the first one was sitting in his room waiting for opportunity. And he thought, the moment opportunity comes, I'm going to get up, get ready and move. And that's what he did. Opportunity knocked. And he immediately understood this is an opportunity. He dressed up, he went out and met opportunity. The second one was, I need to be ready. I cannot be wasting my time. So he had already upskilled himself. He was ready. He was waiting. And the moment opportunity knocked, he didn't waste time in getting ready. He was already out. And the third one was also ready. But he said, I'm not going to wait for opportunity to come. I'm going to keep the door open. And the moment I hear opportunity coming, I will go out and meet opportunity. So out of the 3 friends, 1, 2, 3, who do you think got the job or will get the job? The first one, the second one, or the third one? Please write in the chat box. Ikshita ma'am, if you can tell me what are the answers coming?
Yes, ma'am. Many of them have written 3.
Sorry?
Many of them have written 3, the third option, ma'am.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So this is similar to you being ready with your communication skills, building up these skills, practicing it, make as many mistakes. Your teachers are never going to get angry. Your friends will never know because their English is as good as yours. So nobody will even know when you make a mistake. So just don't bother, but don't make mistakes when you go into your professional life. So do it now. Skills, talents, attitude, knowledge, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, they are all based on understanding the present situation, the present book, the present information. Only then can you build critical thinking above that. Only then can you be creative and think of a better and more effective attitude. Only then can you have an attitude of a winning attitude. Only then will you be confident enough to share your knowledge and your skills and talent. And so it's important that you're able to understand what people are saying, understand what you're reading, and of course, speak and write in a manner which shows that your comprehension skills are good and you've understood. In your group discussions, again, your communication skills become very important. And of course, the quality of your points are very important. How much are you accommodating others is also very important. That means when we talk about communication skills, it's just not about talking and not giving others an opportunity. It also means, am I good at turn taking? Am I good in empathizing? Can I give opportunity to others? When you go for multinational companies and they put you in a group discussion, or they just ask you to present something, they give you a stipulated time sometimes, or they just give you an open sphere to talk and observers are there. So those who talk too much and feel that they have dominated the discussion also get negative marking. So you need to be very careful that it's also important that how much do I take everybody with me while I'm talking, how much of respect I give to other people's point of view. So these are all little things about communication we need to take in mind. I've given you 3 examples here. So when you have a group discussion, whether in college or outside or in your professional sphere, you will always have 3 kinds of people. Thief, who will steal your idea and present it as his idea. Butchers, whatever idea you put up, they're going to crush that idea. And spectators, who will just sit and watch. And in the end, they will take a side and say, I believe in this. And they will kind of give a conclusion. I can also be amongst the 3 of these kind of people. So see, how am I communicating? What is the kind of idea it is giving to the others? Challenges to communication, poor language skills. So obviously, I'm not very comfortable. I'm not using the right words. My sentence structure is so off the line that it becomes a challenge for the other person to even try and understand what I'm saying. Poor attention span. I cannot pay attention for a long time. Lack of honesty, questionable credibility. I need to convey to people that I'm honest. Nobody likes to listen to people who they feel is always lying. So build up that credibility with your friends and even with the people you're meeting for the first time. Give facts. Don't create facts and create an impression that you are not honest. Poor tools, gadgets, and connectivity for communication, especially in these online days. Badly expressed message. There's a lot of ambiguity. Nobody can understand what is this person trying to say. Maybe I've used the wrong word. Maybe my punctuation is not right. So please be careful about that. Noise and interruptions, again, especially in the online classes. Information overload. Too much of information given in one go will all go over the head. So little information, we call it bite-size information. So make it bite-size information. Send a second circular or give a next piece of information after some time, or at least number them so that it's not all confused and put together. All right, I can see some hands up there. We'll come back to you. Why and how of positivity in communication skills? Why? If I am positive in my communication, everybody likes to have positive people. In fact, if there are 5 stationery shops near your house, or maybe 2 footwear shops and 2 shops for the grocers, you always pick up one. Out of the many doctors, you go to that one doctor and you're very comfortable because he makes you feel nice. He's so positive. So we all like to be with people who are positive. And so am I that kind of a positive person with my communication? Do I create that positivity? So it helps me work in a team. I'm popular. People like to have me. And when I'm popular, they put me in a leadership role. And of course, as a leader, I have more opportunities to improve my own self and, of course, work for the betterment of others and improve my professional stature. How? By empathizing with people. If you understand that people may also have their limitations, people may also be in a bad mood, then you start understanding them, you are in a better situation. Look out for good in others. Whenever you meet people, what is that good thing that I can take from this person? Don't think of all the negative things, put them out. Are you a complaint box or a solution seeker? So hot. I don't know why the college is not doing that, why the school is not doing that, why the government is not doing that. Do I have a solution or am I only complaining? Nobody likes to have a complaint box. Be flexible. If this is not happening, what is my plan B? Adapt and embrace to new situations. Laugh with, not laugh at people. So I may have great fun with my friends today, laughing at somebody who's not there, but the rest of my 5 friends are thinking that if he can laugh about that one today, tomorrow he may laugh about me. So that's a very important part. Be mindful of others' feelings. He may not like that you talk about this in front of others. Turn taking, avoid monologues, give opportunity for the others to talk. Motivate and appreciate genuinely. This is very important, genuinely. If you think there is something which somebody's done which needs appreciation, however small it is, appreciate. Everybody is starved for appreciation. So do that, but genuine. But if you keep on throwing your compliments right, left, and center, left, right, and center, then people don't take you seriously. Be courteous and tactful. The NEP 2020 also emphasized, teach students to be tactful. You may want to say something which is not very pleasant, but say it in a manner so that it's not rude. You don't hurt others. And of course, being courteous is never old-fashioned. Be a good team member. Somebody else's idea is chosen, but I will still support that idea and take it forward. So these are some of the ways you can be, positive. And if you follow them, I'm sure you're going to be a person much sought after by your friends in your professional field. And of course, the skills of a good communicator: speaks and writes clearly. Its most important thing is clearly. Simple, clear sentences. Listens attentively and actively. Now, there's a word here, actively. Listens attentively, of course, we're supposed to do, but actively means when I'm not sure of what the person is saying, I can just stop them and ask them, can you explain this? So those children who are asking me questions, I'm very happy when you raise your hands. That means you're listening actively. Ask questions to understand better. Looks at the other person when speaking or listening. The most horrible thing can be when you're talking to someone and the other person is looking into his mobile or laptop screen and giving you the answers. It is absolutely discourteous. See that you don't do it. Show respect to others' views. Believe in turn taking. That means give the other the opportunity to speak as well. Do not interrupt. And even if you have to interrupt, just say, can I interrupt here? And take that permission and then interrupt. Use appropriate gestures and facial expressions. That's very important. Avoid fillers. Fillers is, when you say, I think. So all these are called fillers. So to have as few fillers as possible. You may have to work on that. Understand the importance of pause, pitch, tone in your voice. And I've just, I think, kind of overshot my time by 3-4 minutes. I'll kind of finish it quickly. I wanted to show a video, which I'm going to just kind of skip. And the last part is the action plan. Listen, watch, read, and speak. Listen to people speaking, television, watch movies. And that is what learning a language means. You don't have to just read a book. You should also watch movies, watch plays, watch people presenting, read as many books, speak, find out as many opportunities to speak, take part in plays. 180 hours of practice to bump you one level up. So this is generally what we consider. And this practice means even watching a movie, even watching the news. That is also part of taking in English. Or the CEFR scale. Your scale should be ideally B2 level. So please go and check, Google it, can do statements, what you should be doing in reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Tactful, a better way of speaking things. Also remember, good reading habits will lead to better and fluent writing and speaking. In your own school, do you have a school of architecture or whatever your different departments that you have conversation club, have reading club. Have general awareness club, learn pronunciation through songs, have debates, discussions, presentations, speeches, do a lot of theater. All these develop your conversation skills much better. And of course, certification. Why do you need? You're going to be getting a certificate. Is that when you come out of college, you already have a degree from 2 places, University of Cambridge and MIT. It also makes your functional CV heavy. It is a time-bound goal. Progress can be measured, fun way of learning. And of course, you're not paying for any tuitions to pass that. Teachers are teaching you. Application of learned concepts in the real life situations, mistakes in informal situation. And finally, if you feel your English skills are fine, good, you have some proof for it. And if you think they're not good, it's an opportunity to improve. So with that, I come to the end of my session. Thank you so much, Ishita Gadgil, man, for waiting so patiently.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'll quickly move forward. Unfortunately, we are running short on time. So thank you, ma'am, for shining light on this topic to our students. And I would also like to thank you for enlightening us on the topic essence of good communication skills and positive thinking for professional life. It was truly enriching, ma'am. And we are sure that our students will implement all the knowledge which they have received today in their future and professional lives. We thank you once again, Professor Monisha Gupta, ma'am, for giving us your precious time and joining us for the 5th induction of MIT-ADT University. I'll just make a quick announcement. Yes, ma'am?
No, my pleasure, I said.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll just make a quick announcement. The next session will be Sustainable Environment, Role of University Students, which will be from 11 to 11:15, delivered by Dr. Rajendra Shende, sir, and moderated by Dr. Ashok Guge, sir. So we request all of you to join the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Ishita. And I'd like to assure Ms. Monisha Gupta, ma'am, that we will compile all the questions and probably will share these questions to you through email so that our students will get all the answers. So once again, thank you very much, ma'am, for your session today, which is very wonderful session for all the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok, for those kind words. Thank you.
Thank you. So now the guest for the session, Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shende, will be joining very shortly. And we will begin the session as soon as he joins for the second session of the second day of the induction program of MIT-ADT University.
When are you starting? So how many minutes?
Come back to me. 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 Come back to me.
बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है हम सबका कि हमारे इस वार्षिक उत्सव पर्सोना फेस्ट 2019 जो अपने आप में पूना शहर का एजुकेशन क्षेत्र का सबसे बड़ा स्टूडेंट्स का फेस्टिवल है.
So all the students who are coming here, they are very special students, they are very special personas. So it was the duty of the Board of Management of the MIT-ADT University to give the personal attention to each and every student who is studying in the MIT-ADT University.
So friends, this very event of Persona Fest initiated by Dr. Mangesh Karad, Dr. Sunil Rai and their team is gaining a new dimension. What I could see here on this stage, which simply is being decorated.
Basically, I'm always thinking how I can help this great country, Bharat Vikas. Swami Vivekananda he wanted to have 100 people for his thought. I consider myself one of his that 100 and try to do something different for this great country on my own way. Need your blessings and guidance. माझे साहब मेरा एक भविष्य में लक्ष्य रखा है मैंने अगले 12 साल में 10 करोड़ लोगों की जिंदगी में बदलाव लेके आने के लिए मदद करनी है. इसके लिए आप सबका आशीर्वाद चाहिए.
Over to you, Ashok sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir had joined, but we'll be starting the session in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, I like to request and make quick announcement to all the esteemed audience that the session by Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shinde sir has been preponed because sir is not available by 4 o'clock. And instead of that session, Dr. Atul Patil sir will be delivering the session on School of Holistic Development by 4 o'clock. And now we have the session on sustainable environment, role of university students by Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shinde sir. So I wanted to communicate. Yes. So I wanted to communicate this change to our esteemed audience and to students. Thank you very much for your patience. I take this immense pleasure to welcome our Honorable Executive President, Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad, sir, who had joined the meeting. I also welcome all the dignitaries, and we will be beginning the session very shortly. This is the second session on the second day of induction program on sustainable environment, role of university students.
Ashok sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir. We need to ask Dr. Rajendra Shinde, sir, because he just called me and said he would need 1 minute. So may I begin, sir? Sir, if you are there, if you could hear us, can we begin the session with your permission?
Yes, surely. He's coming, na, but wait for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He has just called us. He will be.
Yes, I'm here. Just give me a couple of minutes. Okay.
Oh, yes, surely. We'll wait, sir. No problem.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for patience.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Session
Meanwhile, I like to inform all the students that we have next session by 11:30 by Dr. Indira Parikh on importance of liberal education in today's era. And immediately after that, we also have the session on role of sports in holistic personality development by Brigadier P.K. Muralidharan and Colonel M. Giridhar, Indian Armed Forces. So these are the sessions in the first slot of the second day of induction program.
Yeah, you can start it now. Ashok,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Mangesh ji, good morning. You can start now.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. A very good morning, everyone. I, Dr. Ashok, welcome you all to the second day of the 5th induction program of MIT-ADT University. This session is on sustainable environment, role of university students. We are honored to have Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shende sir, Chairman, Technology, Education, Research and Rehabilitation for the Environment, Policy Center, Pune, to guide us today. Terre in French means the earth, and sir believes the earth is our only home in this vast universe, and that itself is a strong enough reason that we should take care of our earth. Sir, we are delighted to welcome you to the second session of the induction program. It's an honor and privilege to have you here to guide all of us. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I would also like to welcome Honorable Executive President and Vice-Chancellor of MIT-ADT University, Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Your presence is indeed a matter of encouragement for all of us and for all the students. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, I welcome Dr. Rajendra Shende ji for this wonderful session. He is a gem of person. He has won the Nobel Prize for climate change. His group has got the Nobel Prize on the climate change in 2008. So he is a very renowned persona of an international level in this area. So we are honored and privileged to welcome you, sir, for this 5th induction program. Our new batch of 3,000 students is admitted, and they are going to listen to you, your thoughts, and they will imbibe your thoughts in their actions. And they're planning for sustainable development of the earth, I can say. I will not say of the India, of the earth, I can say. With these words, I think, Ashok, you can carry on.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shende, sir, in your words. Thank you very much. We are delighted to welcome Honorable Pro Vice-Chancellor Dr. Anand Chakradev, sir, and Registrar Dr. Mahesh Ji Chopade, sir. I also would like to welcome Dr. Atul Patil, Director of School of Holistic Development. We would like to welcome the convener and all other dignitaries, all the respected directors, deans, principals, mentors, HODs, professors, parents, and our new students from all the disciplines at MIT-ADT University. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we get started, let us take a moment to watch an AV about Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shende, sir. May I request the technical team to play an AV.
Mr. Rajendra Shende is an alumnus of IIT Bombay and former director of United Nations Environment Program in Paris. He presently serves as senior expert nominated by the Government of India to United Nations Environment, Technology and Economic Assessment Panel. He is the chairman of Terre Policy Center, a think tank and action platform on SDGs with focus on food, energy security and climate change. He is advisor to the Paris-based Media India agency engaged in promoting Europe and India relations and chairman of the International Advisory Council of Operation Earth, a leading NGO in People's Republic of China dedicated to enhance people-to-people contacts between India and China. He has been selected as chairman of the Working Committee on Solar Cooling of International Solar Alliance, a joint initiative of India and France. He is proud owner of Nobel Peace Prize citation. He received 2 awards from the government of USA for his contribution to successful protection of the ozone layer and for his efforts to initiate the linkages between the ozone layer and climate change. Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Governance awarded his program for forging innovative partnership of the private sector companies for the global protection environment. His global project of Solar Chill won UK Industry Award. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, late President of India, has honoured Mr. Shende for his efforts at Rashtrapati Bhavan. 53 African countries and 12 Middle East countries appreciated his innovative efforts for guiding them in implementing Montreal Protocol, the most successful international UN agreement. The list of numerous awards also includes Maharashtra Bhushan, Satara Bhushan, Koregaon Bhushan, and Rahimatpur Bhushan. He is also awarded Lifetime Achievement Award from Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. He has recently launched projects for youth and universities that include Green Olympiad, Urban Forestry, Center for Climate Change and Health, and Smart Campus Cloud Network. As a member of MIT-WPU governing body, he is mentoring the peace building and sustainable development as basic tenets of our education system, with strong conviction for global peace that is undeniably linked to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Widely traveled, Mr. Shende has lectured in number of countries, including MIT, USA, University of Berkeley, USA, Beijing Tsinghua Nanjing Universities, China, and IIT Bombay. We are glad to have him at MIT-ADT universities.
Thank you for playing an AV and educating all of us about Dr. Rajendra Shende sir and his immense contribution to the sustainable development. Thank you very much. Now, without further ado, I'd like to request Honorable Dr. Rajendra Shende sir to guide all of us on the topic Sustainable Environment, Role of University Students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry for a couple of minutes of delays, but back to you to see Dr. Mangesh Karad and all his able colleagues who has organized this induction program for the new students who have been admitted to this glorious MIT-ADT for 2021. So pleased to be addressing these students, aspiring students, in an aspiring university, which is housing at one place the technological minds, creative minds of art and design, and many more things. For me, it is a session, which I call it is chit-chat session with the family, because I'm a part of the family of MIT group and have been watching it very closely, how they plan the things and how they have envisioned the growth by taking students as a base, the youth as a base. And that's what our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji also keeps on saying, that is the youth who is going to drive this particular movement of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Just remember, it was not a part of my speech. Just remember that when Prime Minister Narendra Modi started his campaign for new government in 2014 election, general election, his first speech was in Pune. That too in a Ferguson College, in their amphitheater, addressing the students. And he mentioned that I am starting like this. I mean, any other party probably would have started it in some party melawa or party conventions. He started with the youth in an amphitheater. I mean, that itself was a symbolic. I just remembered it. And I'm going to talk about something which is, I said, it is a chit-chat session. I'm not going to bore you with all technicalities what United Nations is doing, where I spent about 20 years in their Paris office talking about and discussing green economy and what we should give back to the ecosystems and the nature. I'm not going to talk about climate change related issues. I'm not going to talk to you about the extinction of species of the biodiversity. I'm going to talk to these new students who are looking forward to this, look to get themselves up in this world, saying that, please copy. I mean, all the time you have been told, don't copy. Don't look at somebody else's paper. Because most of the time, that paper probably will be fake, is a wrong answer. You don't know whether it is wrong or right. But I'm going to say, do copy, but identify from and I prove that point now. I'm borrowing some of the words from the first induction period I had in IIT Bombay's convention hall. We did a session like this, in 1 hour session. And we were told that some of the things which I'm going to mention to you. But one thing which I remember, that this induction period is not about technology, not about humanity subjects which we are going to talk about it, but we are going to tell you that this session is about how to build a character. And I think that is the base of our development or a sustainable development. Now, let me start sharing the screen and let's see how it works. Not going to be easy, but let me see where I have stored that. I'm sharing it. It says basic, then there is something called advanced. I would need your help.
Yes, sir. We can.
Yes.
We can click on basic, where from there we can share the PPT, sir.
Yeah, my PPT is all. Yeah, I got it now. It takes time probably.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, every technology takes time. It doesn't come like this. Like yesterday, there was a blackout of Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram. And even for a great man like Mark Zuckerberg took some time to do this. So I'm here, and that is my first slide. Oh, what happened? Where are we?
Sir, we can see the PowerPoint presentation. It's visible.
You can see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's an amazing technology. I don't see it.
It says environmental sustainability, art of copying. So that's the first slide that we can see here from our side.
Right. You are right. That is the first slide. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But why I am not able to see it? It will be good to see that.
Maybe, sir, you can just stop sharing and share it again.
Okay. Good idea. But I must get that screen, right? Okay. Stop share. Correct. And then I start sharing.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So here I am.
Yes, sir. Just switch on to slideshow mode, sir.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. It's getting the instructions from technical people from MIT-ADT itself is a copying the art. So I proved the point how it works, copying. Now, sorry to start with this image. Normally, the image you start with the presentation with such a bright, some flowers and something like that. I'm starting this presentation with an image of a cow dung. And I apologize to all the 12th class past students who have taken admission in MIT-ADT. There is a reason for that, why I'm starting with this. This is a dung beetle. You see the two of the dung beetles very near to each other? And they have made this small, of their own size probably. People have done a lot of research on this, by the way. And I'm sure this research probably will not be duplicated in MIT-ADT. But they say that it is several times the weight of their own, the cow dung. That beetle cow dung's weight is several times smaller than the cow dung's what these beetles do, in the cow, not because they like its smell, but their survival is based on the ingredients in this dung. And so what they do in a summer, they collect this small dung balls, and then they carry it to their home, which is underground or somewhere, and then the whole day starts. When you are not able to hear me quickly, because at present there is no electricity where I'm staying, but I'm working on a dongle, and I can see that I'm getting a message that there is an unstable connection, but doesn't matter. Now, in the summertime, all these dung balls are their dinners. The way we have meatballs, we order meatballs, right, in many of the restaurants, and these are the dung balls. That is their food. Why I'm showing this? Not because of the dung balls and their dinner, but I'm saying that is the first time nature invented something called as anything looking round. And anything looking around, those smart 12th standard students who have passed out, probably they that when you make the thing round, it is very easy to push, very easy to accelerate and take it faster. That's what cow dung did it. That time there was no Newton. There was no Einstein. They did it. And there is a research which has done that this probably has done billion years back, maybe. And then what we did, we human beings, we said, we invented wheel so that we can carry a lot of load in a bullock cart or in a tanga and in number of aircrafts, because they also take off with the wheels. It's all wrong and fake. It's a fake information. And I think 12th standard student should first know how to filter out the fake information from real information. And the fake information doesn't come only from the media. It comes from the scientists. It comes from the great personalities who have told you that wheel was invented by men. Wheel was invented by dung beetles, and it's a worthwhile copying from them. In fact, human beings copied them. That is the first copying in order to start the industrial revolution with the wheels. And you know what? Why I'm showing this second slide? Because many people wondered once, because cow dung is not made just outside their apartment, the dung beetle's apartment. It is made where the animals are. So how do they carry exactly to their hole? That is because these dung beetles look at the stars. They have the ability to sense the directions. And then they push these dung balls back to the holes. And you know what we human beings did in 21st century or 20th century? That we said we invented GPS. Wrong. We did not. The nature invented it first. They found a way of getting the right direction. The Google map didn't. Sundar Pichai didn't. These dung beetles, they invented how to find the directions. Another example, honeybees. I don't know whether you have heard about it. I can pour on a statistics to you. How many honeybees are required to get 1 gram of honey? How many kilometers they travel to get 1 kilogram of honey, which you buy from Patanjali or any other grocery shop? You better read it. And this is what you want to read it in your spare time before completing your assignments for MIT-ADT. Because there is a lot to learn from them. And unfortunately, what we human beings done, we say that honeybees give us honey. Partly correct. I won't say it's wrong, partly correct. But honeybees to humans give the higher food production. They accelerate pollination. And more than that, they teach us. They are the teachers. They teach us how to work collectively without fighting with each other. I don't know whether you have seen this, the boxes of honeybees anytime, or in the nature, in the branches, how they work together, clinging to each other to do the work. And I hope that in your 4 to 5 years of MIT-ADT campus, you don't fight with each other, but you cling to each other the way the honeybees are doing in order to make sure that you do some productive work. Difficult to know what this image is. This is a house of ants, another insect. I don't know whether anybody has watched how the ants' houses are built by the ants. We have watched how the cement houses, the cement, concrete, and everything is done. But we don't know how the ants build this. It's a multi-story building of ants. They have done it. They have not used any JCB. They have not used any crane for doing it. And on top of it, I'm not only showing that it is a multi-story structure like this, but I'm saying that there are many holes in this. And many people think that is the entry points. They are not. They may be. People can enter, when the ants can enter from there. But those are air ventilations. A lot of research is being done. You may like to do your own research when you study in MIT-ADT. But you put the thermometer in any of these holes throughout the year, inside temperature is constant. It varies between 24 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade. No air conditioner is required. And what we human beings did, we invented so-called air conditioner and didn't copy the ants. Yes, the one group in Africa copied it. They built this particular house, which I'm showing, a multi-story apartment, but it is built based on ants used to make many ducts and many openings in the walls. And this building, you can see, it doesn't have any room air conditioners peeking out, which you see in a multi-story building today, anywhere in Pune. Well, we use nuclear, we have the missile technology, right? We are very proud of it. Even after Dr. Abdul Kalam was very proud of it. But when he held the program for solar vaccination cooler and called all the experts to talk to me, and there are a number of photographs are available to that, he told me for the next tea and refreshment session that, look, people call me missile man, but real missiles are in the nature. And he gave me the example of this bombardier beetle. You know what this bombardier beetle does? You must have seen this. The left side image probably is the cross section, but you know this bombardier beetle when you see the right side image. They are around anywhere. Okay? And these bombardier missiles, what they do is, if anybody approaches them, they have stored hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone. Those who have learned the chemistry in the 12th standard probably know these chemicals. I know them very well because I worked on them. They combine and they produce a high pressure gas which smells absolutely obnoxious, and nobody can approach this insect. That is their missile and self-defense system. Velcro. Now I have to go too fast because I have only 5 minutes left. This is a Velcro. This is indeed came from the example in nature. This Velcro, many companies have now established. I'm not going to explain to you, but you must have seen this one. That it catches, the surface catches each other. This has come from the nature's example of how certain fibers can be caught by the Velcro. And one of the Switzerland engineer went for a walk with his dog and he saw those things sticking to his dogs. And then he invented and he set up the company. And that company now is a millions of dollars company. And well, I'm not only talking about Swiss and others. I'm talking about our Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Let's take this example at home. How to climb a wall? You say take a escalator, then do something what mountaineer people did. He used the nature. He copied it from Ghorpad. I don't know what is the English word for Ghorpad, but it is invert braid, and it doesn't have spine. And it likes to climb up or go anywhere. I mean, that's why I given a picture that particular thing, nobody will be able to climb it. And this is what he used to climb the Mughals' walls. And Tanaji Malusre used the Ghorpad to do that. So copy that. And based on what these spineless creatures have done, from there, man has copied to get a lot of sticking tapes. They literally extracted the sticking element from them and copied it and made it in their laboratory. Well, I'm not going to go into details of it. I think probably Dr. Mangesh ji may like to arrange a separate lecture for me for how to copy. Probably MIT-ADT will be the first university in the world to say, we teach copying. Well, this is another example where I'm sure I have in my garden, I have in my farm this particular flower, but the water it forms a small drop over there. Okay. Human beings, the smart entrepreneurs copied that and made a waterproof elements. Well, let me go fast. And I like this particular one. This was 1990 example when Japan came out with the bullet trains. And there one of the points, the engineer, railway engineer, and I'm sure MIT-ADT or anything, right? Or probably MIT-ADT has. But one of the major annoying problem was when this fast train goes in a tunnel, and when it comes out of a tunnel, it used to make a lot of noise because of the air shocks. And also the structure of tunnel also starts getting reduced. Now, there is one Japanese rail engineer who was also interested in bird watching. And he saw the kingfisher. I mean, all the 12th pass students probably have sit in a restaurant and had a kingfisher beer. This guy watched a bird, kingfisher. And he not only watched and take the photographs, he saw that this has a capability of going from the air and dashing into the water to catch the fish. And they found that the speed with which he travels in the air and the speed with which he travels in the water, where the density difference is so high, is almost the same. And he copied it for the bullet train's starting point. He succeeded. Japan did not pay any patent fee to the kingfisher. And that's the human beings. Well, microorganisms, all of us know COVID-19, and we feel that all microorganisms are bad. Wrong. You are at present, students, the new students, you are carrying with you millions of microorganisms in your body. And they are helping you to listen to me, to see the presentation, to take the decisions, etc., etc. And these microorganisms are so useful that they also start producing semi-synthetic penicillins. Because the enzymes which are used in producing semi-synthetic penicillins, and I want to give this example because I was producing them in Lupin laboratories. These enzymes make these penicillins to save the hundreds of the lives. So the nature is a teacher. I'm not saying that Dr. Mangesh Karad is not a teacher. He is also a teacher. But the nature is a teacher and he is teaching us. And what we are doing is we are killing the teacher. Very crude, very rude. Don't kill the teachers. That is a message. So my first message is copy, but copy the nature. Second message is learn from the teacher, but don't kill the teacher. I'm not saying that you are taking a knife and killing. You are using pesticides to kill the honeybees. You are using all sorts of chemicals to kill the microorganisms in the soil. So these teachers in the nature are getting killed. So the university nature, the nature as a university is getting lost. We have a lot of universities coming up, but the nature as a university is getting lost. And our only planet, which thank you for a generous introduction. And I want to say that I did not win the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize was won by IPCC in 2007, for which I was a coordinating lead author. So I didn't get any money. IPCC got the money, but I got a citation, which Dr. Karadji has said, seen in my residence. So I'm a proud owner of Nobel Peace Prize certificate and citation. But why I'm coming back to the subject is this is our only home. And if we start killing the teachers, we will become like this. This is not a drawn picture by artists. This is a real picture of one of the planets where there is no life in our solar system. And hence, we have a program called as a Smart Campus Cloud Network to make the students SDG ready and carbon neutral. And MIT-ADT is a registered member of that. And what I would like to tell the students is that go to this sccnhub.com. Okay. The students as a volunteer, and what benefit you will get? You will learn the art of copying, the nature. You will learn the art of how not to kill our teachers in the nature. I don't want to go in a detail, but our climate neutral initiative is called as a Not Zero Net Zero. And your university, MIT-ADT, has taken a pledge to become carbon neutral. They are part of the Smart Campus Cloud Network. And what it does is, it takes you out of the classroom and goes into the campus. The campus is made as a laboratory. Laboratory need not have the pipettes and the flasks. Laboratory can also have the birds and the trees. And your MIT-ADT campus is such a beautiful campus. And your teachers are in those campuses. They are in a classroom, but they are also in a campuses. So we teach, come out of the classroom, make campus as your laboratory, and learn from them. That is a sustainable environment. Because the dung beetle working for billions of years has remained the same, survived. And many people have predicted that humans may get extinct, but dung beetles will remain making those dung balls. That is the environmental sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We are really grateful to you for throwing light on the role of university students in identifying the role of nature and how nature itself has invented the things and later it has been adopted by the world as a technological revolution. Thank you very much, sir. It was indeed a pleasure and privilege to listen to you. And I'm sure the knowledge and wisdom shared by you will help to sensitize our students toward the sustainable development. Thank you very much. I am really grateful to our Honorable Executive President and Vice-Chancellor of MIT-ADT University for his motivational presence. Sir,
thank you, Dr. Rajendra Shendeji. You have really made the subject so simple and so low, in an organic way. You have delivered the message, very impactful message to our teachers and our students. I'm seeing this, this picture of you or this role of you first time. because prior to all these sessions, we have talked about what is happening throughout the world, but you have really pinned the exact how we have to maintain the university of the nature and how that is important. I think it is a really wonderful message, very impactful message to our students. And certainly I will also visit the sccnhub.com, because we have to follow the nature. Then only we have to live on this planet. We have to give the planet to our next generation in a safe format, or sustainable format, I can say, where they can live happily. So thank you once again. And I think your more lectures are required. We are soon going to start this course, of the sustainability, which will be compulsory for all the, all the schools and all the students of the university. They have to, my young students, you have to complete this course in your tenure of a graduation, maybe in 3 years, 4 years. This will be the compulsory course that you have to do. So this is an important message. And what is the relevance of that course? You have understood it. If you go to the website, if you Google it, we can see the impacts or the bad effects of the not maintaining the ecosystem, what we are causing today. So now the time is short. So in short, you have realized the importance of the sustainability ecosystem. So we have to learn, and we have to take the pledge that we will maintain the nature, we will maintain the ecosystem, we will maintain the university of the nature. And with these words, once again, I'm thankful to Dr. Rajendra Shindeji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karadji. Thank you, Rawandeji.
Thank you, Dr. Rajendra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to all your colleagues. Doing a great work. Be great teachers. Bye.
Thank you.
All the best to 12th years and new admissions.
Yes.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honorable Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad, sir, for your erudite comments to make the session fruitful. Without taking any time, I request all of you to stay with us for the next session on the importance of liberal education in today's era by esteemed and renowned speaker, Dr. Indira Parikh. We welcome you to the session. I would now like to request Professor Nilanjana to take over the session. Over to you, Professor Nilanjana Mukherjee.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we start with the next session?
Yeah, surely.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Madam is there?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I wholeheartedly express my greetings to you all on the second day and third session of the University Induction Program of MIT-ADT University. In this program, we have with us a very distinguished and esteemed personality as a guest, Hon'ble Dr. Indira Parikh, former Professor and Dean, IIM, Ahmedabad, India. We are truly privileged to have the blessings of our founder president, Hon'ble Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad, sir. We would also like to welcome Honorable Executive President of MIT-ADT University, Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad, sir, Pro Vice-Chancellor Dr. Anant Chakradev, Registrar Dr. Mahesh Chotle, and Director of School of Holistic Development, Dr. Atul Patil, sir. We have the pleasure to welcome all other dignitaries and convener of the induction program, all the respected directors, deans, principals, mentors, HODs, professors, parents, and our new keen and passionate students from all the disciplines at MIT-ADT University. In this session, Dr. Indira Parikh will be enlightening us on the importance of liberal education in today's era. Before we get started, let us watch an AV about math. I request the technical team to please play the AV.
Professor Indira Parikh is the president of Antardisha. Antardisha is a private entity creating a space for individuals, collectives, organizations, and institutions to have a dialogue to discover themselves, to review the past, to reflect on the future, here and now, and renew themselves for the future. Professor Parikh is the founder president of Flame University, Pune from 2005 to 2015. She has been involved in creating the academic vision of holistic and liberal education and shaping FLAME. She was a faculty at IIM Ahmedabad for over 30 years and dean from 2002 to 2005. She has taught at INSEAD, Fontainebleau, France and Texas A&M University. Professor Parikh has been honored with several Lifetime Achievement Awards both nationally and internationally for her contributions in education, human resource and for her work with women. She has written numerous articles published in national and international journals. Professor Parikh is engaging in developing leadership model conceptualized in workspace, social space and life space anchored in self-reflectivity and identity. We are indeed honored to have Professor Indira Parikh with us today.
Thank you, technical team. We welcome you, ma'am. We request you to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, madam. I'm Dr. Mangesh Karad. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I could not attend your last, sessions at MIT-ADT University. I was a little away from the office, but I'm very delighted to be here for your session on a very important topic. So good morning once again. Now I think, you can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
My namaskar to all the colleagues, faculty colleagues of MIT. My pranams to all the elders in the audience, and lots of blessings to the students who are entering the campus. This is for the young students. This is the time. This is the space, and this is the moment where you stand at a very critical threshold of your life. You are leaving behind dependency of parents. You are leaving behind the injunctions and the constant instructions to you, which you were most irritable when the parents gave you the same instructions. But you're also entering a new space, completely new space of an educational institution where you are bringing the values, the commitments, the respect for elders, the respect for learning. And what you are seeing in the future is that the learning process is your responsibility. It is not anybody's. See, institutions have been either teacher-centric or they've been student-centric. Nowadays, they are student-centric. But the educational institutions where you are entering must be for you a learning-centric process. Because whatever you learn here, you are going to carry it for the rest of your life. And what are you going to learn here? See, let me give you 2-3 statements. One, everything you learn has a purpose. Everything you experience has a meaning. And it is just not a negative or a positive. It will catch up with you at some point of time. Let me share just one experience. When I was about 6 or 7 years old, my parents took me to Shantiniketan. I was in Calcutta, and we went, about 40 of the family members went to Shantiniketan. Now that memory is etched in my mind. And when we opened Flame, that memory came alive at that point of time. And I think that shaped my collecting all the positives of education and connecting it to that experience to make it happen that a flame was created. So whatever you have experienced now, or even as a child, if you remember it, you will discover that at some point of time it has a meaning, it has a value, and it is just a pearls which you are collecting over the years, finally, to when you grow up and you have the opportunity to create a nice string of pearls, either create an institution or create an enterprise. You will see it is a matter of what you have learned in the as a child. Now, let me just say what happens. And we have to first discover the positive aspect of our culture, positive aspect of our families, positive aspects of our country. And there was one seed, how the liberal education came into my mind to create. When I was a young girl, I think the first very significant impact which touched my life, we were in Ranchi, about few hundred kilometers from Calcutta. We had a home there and we were going for a walk. All the British hadn't still left the country. There was a British family living near the park who was there with her nanny. And she was speaking English. And some of my family members responded, "Unko dekho kitna acha English aata hai." I quickly jumped and said, ask them to speak Hindi. If they can speak Hindi the way we can, then they are intelligent people. So I said, I can speak Hindi as good as she can speak English. But you see, that spark, the ability to have a spirit of inquiry and a self-reflectivity, to reflect on what is told to you is very important. So self-reflectivity is very important. So there are 3-4 things you must do in the learning process. One, give yourself few minutes of silence and solitude and reflect on what is happening to you. And believe me, you will discover so many things about yourself which will free your positive energy to be creative and to be innovative. The second thing is, do not lose your interest in reading. You must read a lot. Reading will give you a huge perspective. And it helps quite a bit. I was in Copenhagen doing some liberal arts program courses. I took everything which was in English literature, English poetry, English essays, English history, American poetry, American literature. The course was the toughest course because we had to read 100 books in a semester and then understand how they are related or how they are disconnected. Now that process of learning still stays with me because you can critically think of what is given to you, understand it, you give it a meaning, and then you come up with a perspective which is yours and not somebody else's. And over the pandemic, people said it is boring, but to me it has been the most beneficial and meaningful because I have been able to get into some of the things which I could not get into. For example, I have been part of reading Bhagavad Gita. I'm reading Upanishads. I'm listening to Upanishads. I'm listening to Shastras. I'm listening to Yoga Shastra. And what I'm discovering is that our mind, and when I start reflecting, our mind is so colonized that it is stuffed with that. And India has about 500 years or more of collective psyche amnesia. We have completely lost touch or contact with the positives of our cultural heritage, positives of our country. And see, this I could connect because many times I see people talking largely negative things about the country and very rarely about positive aspects of the country. Now look, the earlier speaker, Professor Shinde, showed the enormity of the contribution by nature. Now this is part of our Indian heritage. That Indian heritage is very much in rhythm and alignment with the nature. And we always respect nature and Mother Earth. We call it the mother and therefore we respect it, we worship it and we preserve it. So it's very important to really reflect on our own heritage, the positive wisdom which we have. And we are an ancient civilization with enormous amount of wisdom. So I would suggest that all of you young people who are at that threshold, just crossing over to a new space, a new terrain, you must discover many of the things which you may not have discovered before. And you must learn the enormity of the wisdom that we have. And it is important to have a very broad perspective. So what does the liberal education do? Liberal education provides a holistic education in terms of it also emphasizes science, and it also emphasizes social science, humanities, global studies, and performing arts. And we have an immensely rich heritage in performing arts, and that ought not to be lost. So use this time to grow up, use this time to learn a lot, and use this time to think. Think how everything is connected, and you are part of the universe. And if you think positive, the universe will support you. If you think negative, the universe will support you. Universe only supports you, whether you think negative or you think positive. And believe me, rules and regulations are not bad. Rules and regulations are meant to give you a sense of self-discipline. It gives you a sense of aligning yourself with the system in a positive manner. Now, if you may have differences, you may have questions, take the courage to ask the questions, but don't damage the institution you are a part of. Because many times we really damage our country by doing wrong things. And this is definitely takes away our spirit of being a human being. So the three important parts, once again, I will summarize. One is give yourself time, give yourself space to be with yourself and be able to talk to yourself. Today's youngsters are afraid of being with themselves. They're afraid of being alone. And I'm saying you are never alone. You are with yourself, and yourself has its own voice. It has its own sense of direction. You just have to listen to it. Give yourself some solitude to listen to yourself, and you will discover it giving you so many wonderful messages about yourself. You will be amazed. It will free a lot of positive energy for yourself, for the people around you, for the institution you are a part of, for the family you are a part of, and for the country you are a part of. So spend some time doing this. And I have found that young students are afraid. When I have an exercise in my course, spend 15 minutes by yourself, people go to sleep because they cannot really be with themselves. So you must give yourself a lot of significance and a lot of importance, and you will discover what is right and what is wrong. What you did, you could have done it better. It will also give you directions. Yourself has a voice deep inside you which tells you what is right and what is wrong. So always make sure you give yourself few minutes of complete time so that you can hear your voice which tells you to do the right things. And believe me, all the things the adults or the institutions say are not wrong, nor is everything what the young generation says is right. So you must have a perspective on what is right and what is wrong, and what you should be doing, and what roles and responsibilities you should be taking. And as you're entering this new space, you will have to take your own responsibilities, make your own choices, and also accept the consequences of those choices. When you make a choice which is yours, it gives you intended consequences and unintended consequences. And we don't recognize the unintended consequences, which may be very dysfunctional for us or for the institution. So, and this is also the time you are getting a lot of friends in diversity. There are people from across the region, across the world, across the country, all with different habits, different food, different attire. Learn to accept diversity. As you can see, the nature is so diverse and so rich. There is always richness in diversity, and you learn a lot of things. When you encounter somebody new, you encounter a stranger in yourself, and it tells you what your stereotypes are, what your prejudices are. Let me share one example with you. I was on an educational retreat with a group of Brazilians, 12 Brazilians, and my role was to, at the end of the day, sit down together and say, what did we learn about ourselves? Now, on one of the occasions, we had gone to serve food to all the street people. That was one of the agenda. And I did not have any difficulty in doing that, but I definitely had a problem lifting up their used plates. All the other people were merrily lifting away and washing the plates, but I could not do it. So when we were discussing in the evening, I told them, I think I've discovered one of my stereotypes and prejudice, that I had a lot of difficulty in lifting the plates. Everybody else did it. Now, you see, if you reflect and if you meet diverse people, you discover a stranger in you which you had not seen before. So diversity is a good way of discovering oneself, one's prejudices. We live in a very diverse culture. We travel a lot, so we meet a lot of people. And therefore, one has to say, how do you respond to them? Are you responding to them as stereotype, preconceived notion, or an imagery which is you have not really experienced? So you must learn to meet diverse people, talk to them, but make sure you are stable and grounded in yourself, not to get swayed or not to get dislocated. It's very easy to get dislocated. See, the British dislocated us completely from our roots. And therefore, we are still suffering the consequences of colonizations, colonized mindset, and colonized thinking. If you discover, you will see there is so much colonization we carry in our heads, and because we have forgotten and we have had amnesia in our psyche for about more than 500 years, we need, and just that amnesia had been stuffed into what the colonials wanted to think from us, wanted us to think about themselves and about us. So we have a negative attitudes about ourselves, which we need to throw it out of our system because it does not belong to us. We have a very proud heritage and a very positive oriented culture. So we must make sure that we take out what doesn't belong to us and discover what belongs to us, which is anchored in truth, in reality, and in our heritage. So I think my time is getting up. So I will stop here and say to the young students, please use this opportunity of learning. When we were growing up, for a married woman to study beyond once she got married was so difficult. And many women even today struggle hard to study. You have the opportunity in one of the best institutions. So I would suggest, please use this as a learning experience. Think about what you have learned, reflect about what you have learned, and most important, give a lot of respect to yourself, a lot of dignity to yourself and to other people. So the whole campus environment becomes a culture of values, culture of trust, culture of respecting each other, where you feel safe, sound, and create a learning environment for yourself. God bless you all, and I hope you have the most successful careers in your life and contribute to your family, contribute to the country, and be innovative and creative. And most of you, please become entrepreneurs. Thank you very much. Thank you, MIT, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Karad.
Well said. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. I am really delighted to listen to your views. Your views and your perspective is so mature and so wise, I can say. You have really covered. You have really given the teaching in the form of a mother. I think all the students have understood the essence, what they have to learn and why they have to learn. Madam, I will just add here for my benefit of my students that as rightly you concluded it, that most of them have to become the entrepreneur. To support your idea, MIT Art Design Technology University has taken up that as a pledge. The whole the vision revolves around making the entrepreneurship as a focus of the today's graduate, and accordingly we are creating the ecosystem here. And 2 years back in 2018, when we understood innovation is not confined only with the technology, innovation has to marry. Innovation has to, technology has to marry with the liberal art, that is your painting, sculpture, architecture, all, performing art, filmmaking, etc. Plus, the technology has to, do the combination or the technology has to collaborate with the humanities. languages, history, then literature, philosophy. Everything combined will become, the proper education, the complete education, the holistic education, I can say. And for that purpose, why I'm saying this, the liberal education, I know we are running, engineering institution, design institution. In today's era, their syllabus and timings are limited. Even though in that, limited hours of teaching, we are giving them the flavor of the liberal education. We have established, my students, we have established the School of Holistic Development. Because I will just quote the examples. Madam has already told about liberal education. It is a multidisciplinary approach to the higher education where students, they have to think, how the problem can be solved with a multiple, perspective. The perspective can be through the language perspective, literature, perspective, philosophical perspective, and then, the art perspective, cultural perspective. My students, if you are working as a manager in some company, and if some problem occurs, I think only technology and management principles will not help you to solve that problem as a leader. You have to understand what is the culture of that region, what is the culture of, what is the language, what are the ethos of that area. Then only I think you can handle that problem. You have to really handle that problem with a great care and with a dignity. The dignity of a human being is a very important. Madam has said, we have to maintain our dignity. We have to present and we have to create that culture. So every citizen of the world, in every organization, he wants dignity. So there, if the technology person is, familiar with the culture of that region, with the culture of the people, with the language of the people, then I think that can solve the problem very easily. That can become the good business leader. That can become the good political leader. I was reading somewhere when English people have ruled the world, they have written the books. Oxford has created the leaders. Till today, Oxford University creates the leader. Their main vision is to create the leaders who can rule the world, and that Oxford has made that possible. The Britishers have ruled the world. Here they have written the books of the ruling communities of India. I have read such books. They have specifically and written about the culture, their psyche, their their fashion, their attire, and how they can be pleased, how they can be ruled, how they can be handled. A small number of people could handle the vast country like India. So here the concept of humanity is come. Why I'm telling this? Because this is today is the era of globalization. Our engineers, our managers, our people, they have to go, to the different countries. You may have to go to the Germany, you may have to go to Japan, you may have to go to China. How you will handle that organization, or how you will work in that organization. So you should know what is the history of that country. That is important. So my friends, it is not only technology, or it is not only design, it is not only art that is going to help you to become the professional, successful professional in the today's world. Flavor of a liberal education, your approach, the combination of, or the synthesis of all the, arts, humanities, that will help you to become a leader, to become a successful professional in the today's world. For example, I will quote one simple example. The company like Apple, when the Apple, prior to the Apple come out with the product, iPod, and then they come out with the product, iPad. Those are the post-PC products. Prior to that, we used to listen the music on the computer, but they have made a product which is different than the computer, because they have what Mr. Steve Jobs did in that he collaborated, music. iPod was a simple, instrument. He made the music available in your language of any part of the world. You can listen that music. He made the technology, very, very convenient size, very, transportable mode. So iPod, and in that series, he has developed number of products. The product is different than the computer. The computer is developed by only technologies, but here, art. he learned the calligraphy, the calligraphy, how to write, proper. So if we see the, font size and, on Apple, that is altogether different. Operations are seamless. We can transfer, the graphical interface is given. Fine art is, integrated with the technology. So he made a multiple processing, architecture, everything. So my point is that my young students, we have to learn how to integrate this. Today's era, that is, and on that line, today's Apple's turnover is, I think, more than $200 billion. The company could cross the revenue. $1 billion is equal to 7,500 crore. So you can imagine how much turnover Apple is making. And here I am coming to the point of innovation. Apple has recently launched the new product, Apple 13 Fold. People are, lining up into the market. People are taking the product at a higher price. He has made, slight changes in camera. You people may be knowing more. But slight innovations has made the, Apple to survive in today's world with a small innovations in a technology, in using the technology. That has really made the big impact. My daughter had gone to Mahabaleshwar last week, and she showed me a wonderful video. Their group had made the video film by using the Apple phone. I was surprised. I think how, young graduates, she is doing, MBBS. She can do the wonderful film. So, creativity is boosted because of the liberal education, because of the marriage of the technology and liberal arts. So that is happening. More and more expertise. Our graduates are becoming multi-skilled people. They can, if you are working as a professional, you can create your own film, your own brand. You can build your own brand. You can put up your own videos. So that way, I think liberal education is really trying to, holistically develop the today's professional. And that is a very important. And so, my friends, so here in the next session, you are going to listen to the School of Holistic Development Department. So, madam, here we are still not able to provide purely, liberal education course, but we are giving the flavor of the liberal education, flavor of the, communication, literature, humanities subject, language, and other subjects so that they will try to learn and their perspective will be more bigger and bigger. So, friends, with that idea, you have to undergo the courses at the School of Holistic Development Department. So, certainly, you can become, at the end of the course, you will think with a, multidimensional aspect to the problem. And today's problems are very complicated problem. So, you can certainly handle those problems and give the solution to that. So, that is the importance of the liberal education. So, it is not only liberal education means liberal art is not only confined to music, painting and drama or to the languages. It also covers the area of management studies. It covers the area of the sciences. How you can infuse the liberal education with those subjects is a real challenge, and how you can give the solution in your domain. So that is the challenge, and n number of opportunities are there. Dr. Rajendra Shendeji has said we can copy the nature. And I think through that, we have to provide the innovative solutions to the society. So that is the requirement of today's era. So, madam, once again, I'm thankful. You are a master persona in a liberal education. You have really created Flame University as a wonderful university. We want your more and more guidance, how we can set up the syllabus, performing arts, creative art, how the, technology people can learn, because, 180 credits are there to deliver the degree program. Our regular program has 160 credit, and in other 20 credits, we have to fit everything from communication, liberal art, foreign languages, everything has to fit. So we will come to you, but thank you. I think your vision will certainly help to, build proper holistic development department. Thank you very much.
Sir, I will just add one more line to your entrepreneurship. I was working on this colonial thoughts which we have internalized. See, also the management institutions are only creating employees and not entrepreneurs. We should have set up entrepreneurial institutions to create entrepreneurs who would have created more jobs, more innovations in the country. So your focus on entrepreneur is excellent, and definitely I will bring my best to contribute whatever I can. Thank you so much.
Surely, madam. Surely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, madam.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Chalo, Dhara.
Thank you again, sir. Thank you, Dr. Indira Parekh ji, for enlightening our students. We appreciate you being here. The session was really informative. We also thank Hon'ble Professor Dr. Mangesh Karad, sir, for his valuable insights. I'm very sure the students will take the benefits mentioned by you, sir. We thank you once again. Dear students, we will soon commence with our next session on the role of sports in holistic personality development, which will be delivered by Honorable Brigadier P.K. Muralidharan and Honorable Colonel M. Giridhar. So thank you so much. We will meet at 12:30 p.m. for the next session. We request you to join in on time. Thank you to all the dignitaries and students for joining in. Thank you, sir.
Since our guests have joined, I think we'll begin with the session. A very good afternoon, everyone. I extend a warm welcome to all to the fourth session of today. The topic of this session is Role of Sports in Holistic Personality. I, Deepthi Kandari, Assistant Professor, School of Humanities, take this opportunity to extend heartiest welcome to the eminent guest speakers of this session, Brigadier P.K. Muralidharan Raja, SM, VSM, President, Indian Boxing Council, and Colonel M. Giridhar, Indian Armed Forces. As the theme of this session is the role of sports in holistic personality, I believe there would be no one better than two retired army officers enlightening us on the importance of sports in the development of personalities of our youth. I feel privileged to welcome our first guest, Brigadier P.K. Muralidharan, SM, VSM, President, Indian Boxing Council. Before we listen to him, may I request our technical team to kindly play the AV of Brigadier P. Muralidharan.
Yeah.
Born on 9th November 1955, Brigadier P.K. Muralidharan Raja is a founder and chairman, Kurumur Clinics, Joint Spine and Neurodynamics, Pune. He is a president of Indian Boxing Council, professional boxing sanctioning body in India. He was commissioned into 2 Jat Regiment on 13 June 1976 after training at National Defence Academy from 1972 to 1975 and Military Academy from 1975 to 1976. He was later transferred into Army Physical Training Corps in 1981 and retired from the Indian Army in November 2013. He was a referee and judge boxing at Athens Olympics Games 2004, AIBA Boxing World Championships Hungary, Romania and Bangkok in 2003 and 2004, Asian Games 2002, Asian Games 2006, Chairman of Jury Asian Games 2010, Commonwealth Games 1998, 2002, Melbourne and organizer Commonwealth Games 2010, Delhi. He was awarded Sena Medal, Distinguished in 2004 and Vishishta Seva Medal in 2011. He was awarded Chief of Army Staff's Commendation Medal 3 times in 1994, 2001 and 2008. He was a Secretary General, Indian Amateur Boxing Federation from 2004 to 2012, Executive Committee Member, Indian Olympics Association from 2004 to 2012. He was a Manager of Services teams at National Championship, Cross Country Races 1983, Aquatics, Water Polo and Diving 1991 and 1992, Football 1994 to 1995. Sir, we are indeed honored to have you with us today.
Thank you, technical team. Dear all, let us now lend our ears to listen to the thoughts of our esteemed guests on the importance of sports in the holistic development. Over to Brigadier Muralidharan, sir.
Greetings to all of you and welcome to the students of the MIT-ADT induction course of the first year students. As I'm aware, most of you are from the various streams of engineering, management, and so on. So today, I will be speaking to you about the role of sports in the holistic development of an individual. Looking at all of you, you're all young and bubbling with energy. But what we need to understand is that sports plays a major and decisive role in your life and everyone's life for that matter. Probably many of you would have heard George Orwell said, "The Battle of Waterloo was won on the playing fields of Eton." In case you heard this and you know the story, it implies way back in England, in Eton is a private public school. So most of the students there, they were the ones who became the admirals and the leaders of the Navy. So all the strategies which were worked out in the battlefield were probably all worked out during the playing days. So it implies that play and playing together creates a lot of good team spirit, camaraderie, and a lot of things. So now let's look at what does sport actually do to you. Firstly, you all understand sports helps you to be physically active. And when I'm talking to you, let me just give you a brief background about myself. Since I've been in sports for a long, long time, I'm from the Army Physical Training Corps, retired as a brigadier. I was connected with Olympic sports. I was a referee at the Athens Olympic Games in 2004. I've been the chef de mission of the Indian contingent for London Olympics in 2012. And presently, I'm the president of the Indian Boxing Council. In addition, I was the commandant of the Army Institute of Physical Training. So when I tell you about the importance of sports, I'm talking to you from experience. The fact is that to do any activity in one's life, you need to be healthy. You need physical strength. You need mental strength. And all that can be achieved in the play fields. So if you start playing any game for that matter, I think whether you're when you were a child, you must have been playing in the grounds, in the streets, in your houses with friends. So what did it do? One is it made you all physically active those days. In addition, you must have been forming plans how to defeat each team. So strategies were being worked out. You realized who was a leader amongst your group. So leadership qualities were being developed. And you knew each other, who was good, who was weak, who was strong. So you started understanding the philosophy of various things. Like, you could understand who could be a good person, who could be a strong in a particular area. So actually sports is a great teacher. Tomorrow, all of you are going to be leaders in various fields all across the industry. Some of you could be engineers, some of you could be, many of you maybe even maritime thing, maybe it could be management leaders. Basically, you're all being groomed to become leaders. Therefore, it's all the more reason for you to understand continuous physical activity in the form of sports, wherever you are, in whatever form that you want to pick up. You may pick up a small sport, a sport like running, athletics, could be badminton, could go for, some of you should be playing cricket, could be swimming, anything which helps you, which makes you feel good. So it should be a feel good factor. So what happens is when you start playing sports and games, one is that it releases a lot of energy. In the sense, you dispense off with energy, you get tired. So you eat well, you sleep well, and then you get well refreshed. At the same time, when you keep playing, that is when you're running around, when you're moving around, your body releases endorphins. Many of you would have studied, those of you who have been science students, would have studied that it releases endorphins. So that's a feel-good factor. And so you must be wondering, the day you play, you feel very good and nice. And the day you don't play, or for a few days you don't do anything, or then you feel very lethargic. So basically, these are all feel-good factors. Therefore, sports is always, it's a feel-good factor for each and everyone. Now, let's look at how sports can shape your destiny. Many of you may be taking sports as just a hobby. Good enough. But some of you, in case you're interested, it's still not too late. You could still convert it into be a passion. It could be a profession. Now, take the case of Neeraj Chopra. Now, he is the present poster boy of the whole of India. If you look at it, at the age of 11, he was diagnosed, he was very obese. So his parents asked him to go to the playing field so that he cuts down his weight. So when he came down to the field, he found that the best thing was he found some javelins, he threw them around, that's what he says. So he didn't want to run around, so he thought this is an easier one. But when he threw, the people around there noted it and they said, oh, this boy has got talent. And so let's start training him. And there his journey started. Of course, in the next 3-4 years, he started doing well. And then in 2016, when he was the national camp, he was already doing well at that time. But that was a period he was spotted by some of the army coaches who were there. And then he joined the Indian Army. He came to Army Sports Institute here at Pune. And then his journey began. And then he started, became a junior world champion. And then finally went on to win the Olympic gold. So see how life changed in a matter of 9 to 10 years from a person who was a hefty, fat, obese child to become an Olympic gold medalist. So what does it mean? It's all in your mind. If you imagine something, if you believe that you can achieve something, and you will definitely achieve that. So, and the same is the same with sports. So I would suggest and I would recommend to each and every one of you, whether it be for just your health point of view, whether it is for your feel-good factor, or whether it is for your development of your leadership skills and various other social skills, communication skills, every factor can be part of this sport. When you start, doing sports, playing any game for that matter. So sports and this subject is so vast, one can actually keep talking hours and hours together in this. And since I've been from a sports background, I've realized that anybody who's been connected to sports, anybody who has been a small player, they don't have to be a champion. You just pick up a sport, start playing, and not only is your health is going to be good, you're going to be tops in your field, whatever you're going to choose. Your decisions will be pretty clear. You will know what to do. You will know how to communicate. And I think from all points of view, you'll only stand to gain. There's nothing to lose. Because yes, you may get injured. Suppose in a difficult game like boxing or wrestling, once in a while, some people do get injured, but then that's part of the game. So what you want to play, which sport you want to do, that's your choice. But right now, you are all students of MIT. You're in your initial year. You got plenty of opportunities. A lovely university. I've been there myself. I've been a chief guest in one of the one of the courses there before. And I really envy all of you. The facilities that you get here when you're going to be studying there, probably 80% of the people in India don't get it. So when such facilities are available, I would say make the best use of it. And at the same time, concentrate on your studies, concentrate on your education, improve whatever skills that you're trying to do. But add sports as one part of your life. It's not just for now. I think it should be till the end. As long as we live, sports should be taken as one curriculum, one portion of your life. whether you want to be running once in a while, jogging, running, swimming, playing cricket, golf, squash, hockey, football, anything that you want to choose. And the time could be of your choice. It could be in the mornings, it could be in the evenings, whenever you want to. So there's no time, there is no space, there's no time, there's no limitation whatsoever. Everything is available. And all of you being students of MIT, you got a fantastic opportunity to be excelling in whatever field you want to. And I also know there are a lot of competitions and sports where MIT engages in inter-university competitions. They have competitions with other institutions and so on. It's an all-round development for you. So not very many people get this opportunity. So all that I would like to say, I would like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck in your training in this establishment. And at the same time, I want you to keep at the back of your mind, sports plays a very holistic part in the development of you as an individual. And with that, I would like to wish all of you the very best. I would like to thank the management and the authorities who given me this opportunity to address you. Maybe one of these days, when these things, when the corona and these things are over, I could possibly come down and meet all of you and physically interact with you and then speak to you about your passion, about your sport. There could be a lot of things to discuss, because I feel I've been seeing sportsmen at different calibers: school children, college children, state level children, national level, Olympians, international athletes. I've interacted with all of them. With the physiotherapists, sports persons, sports medicines. Therefore, I feel that considering all that, there's no other event or anything better than sport for a holistic development of an individual. So wish you good luck, all the best for your course, and do well. Thank you.
Yeah. So a big thank you to Brigadier Muralidharan for such an illuminating speech. We have understood the various qualities and skills that our students could develop and inculcate through sports. And I'm sure they will greatly benefit from your words of wisdom. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Dear students, at the School of Holistic Development, we have the course titled Health Practices, which helps students to transform as a holistic personality. To talk about this, we have with us Colonel M. Giridhar, Indian Armed Forces. Welcome, sir. We welcome you to MIT-ADT University and its 5th induction program. So before I invite sir to speak, let me request the technical team to play the AV. The AV.
Colonel M. Giridhar is an Indian Army veteran with 3 decades of service in the Indian Army. He has vast experience in the training, planning, conduct and post-operational analysis of number of operations on the line of control, line of actual control, as well as international border. He has commanded a battalion in all the above areas as well as on the highest battlefield in the world, namely Siachen Glacier. Having served more than half of his entire service in Jammu and Kashmir, he has taken part in a number of anti-terror operations. He is on the faculty of College of Engineering, Pune for the past 7 years. We are indeed honored to have Colonel M. Giridhar with us today.
Thank you, technical team. So now, without further ado, we will request our esteemed speaker to highlight credibility and expertise on the subject matter and guide all of us on the same. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Before I screen share and show you a small presentation that I have made, I want to thank MIT-ADT University for this opportunity to interact with all of you, the faculty as well as the students. And it's such a pleasure. First of all, I've been doing this interaction with students for the last 7 years in College of Engineering, Pune, and I'm carrying forward from that interaction that I've been having. I hope I'm audible to everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. Now, this is a subject which is very dear to my heart. sports and personality development, because I myself, taking off from where my esteemed senior colleague in the army, Brigadier Raja, left off, your personality is only complete if you indulge in some sport or the other, because you come across such a vast array of opportunities and the scenarios in when you're doing a sport that mimicking them and doing exactly the same as you did in that sport in actual life would actually be a great, it's an example, and we'll see it as I can I screen share, please? I just share the screen.
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay. Can you see the first slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Coming on to sports per se, these are the things that I'm getting down to business straight away because I don't want to waste your time. You've got a tight schedule. Sporting attitude and spirit. What are the primary gains that you will get out of sports? First is sporting attitude and spirit. I will go over each of this in some measure later when I show the other slides. You have a positive attitude towards life and struggles, shaping your personality and career, and lastly, physical well-being, which in any case is part of being a sportsman. Okay. Sports is exercise and physical activity with fun. You know, you can go to the nearest gym and pump iron from morning till evening, but then you will consider it a physical activity which is more of a pain rather than fun. Whereas you get onto a basketball field or a football field or maybe whatever activity, physical activity in terms of sports that you want to take on, you'll find that it's a lot of fun. Firstly, you're interacting with a lot of other people, and there is a goal that you want to set yourself and achieve that goal, etc., etc. So it's physical activity with fun. Now, second is sports is an activity or exercise with an objective. It has a clear objective on with a definite aim. For example, if you are in a football team and playing a match, you're there to ensure opponent does, and hence you win the game. Similarly, for a basketball game or whatever. Even a very staid game like golf, you are playing against somebody or something, and that's where you achieve a sense of achievement. What's happened? The screen is disappeared. Yeah, can you all see this?
Yes, sir.
The next one is, I keep it at minimized size. The next point is, you learn to overcome adversities and win in a healthy manner. You know, most of us, whether you're in a career, whether you're in a sport or wherever it is, everything is a rat race in today's world. And it is very unfortunate that we are the rats. So, sports teaches you that whatever are the adversities in your life, you have to win, and you have to win in a healthy manner. You don't undercut a person. You have something called a sportsman's spirit, which is very unique to sports persons. Next is, you play sports and you release pressure and tension in a healthy and controlled way. In fact, I myself have seen this because whenever, for example, there is a stressful day, I've heard this from none other than Milkha Singh, the doyen of Indian sports. He says, whenever I used to have a tough day, when I used to come home, all I used to do was put on my tracksuit and go for a nice run, meet a lot of people, say hi to everybody, and that's where all my pressure and tension for the day is over. So I mean that's coming from the doyen of sports in India, Milkha Singh himself. Okay. Now, next is it improves sleep patterns and levels of anxiety. You have a very good game of anything that you want. For example, I play a lot of squash. I go play a squash for about 5-6 games, maybe an hour and a half. And by the time evening, I have my early dinner and I'm ready to sleep like a baby without a thought in the world. No anxiety, nothing whatsoever. You're physically so tired that your mind is lulled into a very pleasant and dreamless sleep. Sports develop motor skills and mind-body connection, obviously. Like, for example, if you're a footballer, we talk of Ronaldinho or Cristiano Ronaldo or anyone for that matter, the ultimate thing is they've developed their motor skills and mind-body concentration to such an extent that there is that small window which he sees. The goal is covered by all the 11 players of the opponents, but he still sees that little window, and his motor skills are so good that his foot is able to kick the ball exactly into that little corner. You may not achieve that level of mind-body connection, but you definitely can be better off than what you are today. Earlier said, sports staves off depression. Now, sports reduces the risk of many physical and mental diseases. For example, if you're a diabetic or if you have any other problems, etc., sensible sport, sensible physical exercise can help you to reduce your level of physical and mental. What's this? Sorry, what is this coming up?
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, sir, but could you please run a slideshow?
Like, if I do that, it will be slow. I don't mind. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there is an option. Yeah, now we can see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sports reduces the risk of many physical and mental diseases, like I told you earlier. Okay, the next one. Now, what are the other aspects? Firstly, character. It builds moral fiber and rectitude. I'll just explain this, in fact. Most games, or in fact all games, you are expected to be a sportsman. You have to have fair play. You have to have moral fiber. When you're wrong, and you accept it with grace. And rectitude is when you know that you are going to be correct and straight, and you're not going to cheat. Of course, you heard a lot of people, there's a lot of talk of, because games now have become big money, then so you hear of betting and so on and so forth. So I'm not talking of such people. I'm talking of the average sportsman has got moral fiber and rectitude, and that is what you will inculcate in yourself. From playing mohalla cricket to playing at international levels, whatever is the level, you will always play fair. So it builds your character. Teaches analytical and strategic thinking. That's very obvious. If you want to be good at your sport, you have to. In fact, for us army guys, this sport teaching analytical and strategic thinking is extremely important for us, because that is why we encourage sports every day. We have a sports period in the evening for 1 hour, and all of us get to play groups games, individual games, team games, and so on and so forth, because there is a lot of building up of analytical strategic thinking and leadership skills. You find an odd guy who's a born leader, so you identify him. Okay, this guy is very good, and so when you deploy troops for actual operations also, these are the guys who get noticed and who provide natural leadership to the team. Okay, next is goals. Obviously, you set yourself a goal and you have to achieve it. You may be playing a badminton game, so you say, okay, I have to win this game and I have to get 15 points before the other guy gets it. And then you work towards achieving it. Self-esteem. Every sportsman you will find has got that swag, as you call it. Most of us, like for example, I play squash. So when I walk into the squash court, I feel that swag in me. I may not show it out, but in my mind, I feel confident. I know I'm privileged to play. I know I can play to a certain extent. So I walk in, play the game with the same sort of self-esteem that I have. Improved social skills, obvious. When you're in a team, when you're working together, when you're playing together, when you do all activities together, you have improved social skills because you learn to give and to take and to share. Leadership abilities already discussed. You develop leadership abilities as you practice for a team. You become the captain, you become the vice captain, so on and so forth. Look at Kohli at the national level. He was such a gawky youngster just a decade ago. Today, he is looked upon by the entire country. Now, that is leadership ability, which has been developed over the years by excelling in his sport. Next is resilience. You learn to cope with emotional highs and lows of life in a very healthy manner. How does it happen? Because every time that you win a game, there is a surge of joy and excitement in you, followed by equally a surge of grief and frustration after a loss. So when you are a sportsman, you lose some, you win some. You learn to handle the highs and lows with equanimity, with perfect poise and balance. Tolerance for ambiguity. Now, this is a very important aspect which all of us must inculcate. Tolerance for ambiguity is when an unpredicted situation develops. That is an ambiguous situation, for example. Anything like it could be a particular game going in a particular manner which you did not think it would. Now, that tolerance for ambiguity and the ability to correct yourself, to rise to the occasion, that is tolerance for ambiguity. Values. Sport is a human life in microcosm. Apart from benefiting from physical health, sports plays an important role in psychological development and the well-being of a child. In fact, there was the senior of mine in the armed forces. He was a brigadier. He had two sons. And both were very studious children, doing very well in their studies. But he would insist every day that they go and play, at least for an hour and a half. And today, both of them have qualified from IITs. They have done their IIMs. And they are excellent. They are excellent sportsmen also. Somebody raised a hand. Is there a doubt? Hello?
Yes, sir. We can continue. We can take the doubt later, sir.
Yeah, continue. That's what. Somebody raised a hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Values. And now coming to team building. Team building is an automatic, what should I say? It's a spin-off from all forms of sports. Whether it is a doubles team for badminton or tennis, or if it is a football team or a basketball team, the essential aspect of sports is you learn to build a team and you learn to be part of an integral team and make yourself useful to the team. So that is a very important aspect. Okay. Now, sports in psychology and life in psychology in sports. So sports in psychology and life and psychology in sports. You know, those are two parts of the same coin, two sides of the same coin. Let's look at sports in psychology and life. First is you learn team spirit, like I just discussed with you. You know, when you have team spirit, you look at your personal interests less and you look at the team's interest more. I wish we Indians as a nation, we looked upon the country in the same manner. We look at our country's interests first because unfortunately or otherwise, we are all self-centered. You know, we all want to look after our own interests. So when you're playing a game, and when you're playing a team game especially, you tend to forget or sublimate your personal interest to a great extent, and then you wish to promote the team interests, which is so important in any organization that you're working for. Leadership skills, automatically you lead different people from different walks of lives to achieve one single goal. For example, look at the Indian girls hockey team. It's a fantastic example of leadership skills. There is this girl who's come from an absolute rural background, a very impoverished, below poverty line background, and today she is the captain of the Indian hockey team. And she is leading people from every walk of life and every part of the country. Amazing leadership skills. Now look at this background and look at how she's come up. Today, she's considered the best hockey player in the country and one of the best captains that we've ever had. Next is fair play. Though winning is important, losing is not a disgrace. It's not like war. If you lose war, of course, it's a different kettle of fish altogether. Here, even if you lose, you are losing a game. Being generous and graceful in victory as well as defeat. And at the same time, if you are the victor, you should have respect for the vanquished, which is why you find people shake hands before the game and people shake hands after the game. That's what the first thing they teach you is, after the game is over, please do shake hands and give a pat to the other guy, even if you've boxed him for the last 3 minutes and you've punched him black and blue. You still do shake hands with him because you walk off still as friends, not as enemies. Never give up. Sports teaches you never ever to give up. Success is just round the bend. Being persistent, nothing is impossible. And you never know how close you are to success when you give up. So it also teaches you to sustain your effort and never to give up. Great leveler. Sport is a great leveler in two ways. First is, you lose one day, you bounce back and win the next, no loss is permanent, etc. Second and more important is, it levels every form of society and bring them to the same team. You have a Bindra who's gone with a silver spoon, who's got his own firing range and so on and so forth. Here's one man. And you have others who are from poorer background, all of them forming the Indian Olympic team and going for the Olympics. So it's a leveler that way also. Even a social leveler. Focus. The future, who knows? Now this one is a great example. Now, when you're playing a game, it may be any game it may be playing in the street outside your house. How many of you have got the time or inclination to bother about any other issues when you're playing a game? Your mind is so focused on bowling that perfect ball to the person who's batting in front of you. And the batsman is equally poised and ready and concentrated to ensure that he hits the ball in the correct manner. He has no time to think about what happened last time, what happened tomorrow, what will happen tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So it teaches you absolute focus. It's almost like carrying out a small capsule of meditation during that time. Your mind is so concentrated, which is an excellent example of meditation. You're focused on only one thing, just like Dronacharya asking Arjuna, what is he seeing when he's about to shoot the arrow? And the focus is so good that he says that I see only the eye of the bird and nothing else. Now that is the focus that your sports teaches you. Okay, sports, strengths and abilities. Sports teaches you to focus on your strengths and abilities and not on your opponent's strengths and abilities. You have, for example, Neeraj Chopra is an excellent example. He focused on improving himself constantly. He says, okay, I'm weak in this, I need to do this. If you see the saga of his training, you will understand what a great personality he is. At such a young age, he's got that focus to concentrate on his strengths, his abilities, and to strengthen his weaknesses. Okay. Next is process and result. Sport teaches you that the process is more important than the result. Yes, definitely you want to win a game, but you also want to enjoy playing that game. There is that burning zeal in you to win the game. Fine, that is understood and that's required also. But at the same time, in doing so, you're enjoying every second of being on the court. Like I keep telling you about myself. I'll tell you one thing. A couple of years ago, I was fully paralyzed from my neck downwards. And in hospital, in 30 days, I was in ICU, then graduated from there to a wheelchair, then graduated from wheelchair. And today I run 7 kilometers every day. And I also play squash. And I'm still able to beat my son, who incidentally was the captain of Pune University team. So I've graduated from that, but the process of, I've enjoyed every second of it. And it's my sports background which has brought me back to my life once again. After being fully paralyzed and had to be carried one fine day after my walk, I came back home and I fell down, and that was it. The last 2 years have been an uphill task, but I've enjoyed every second of it. Planning. Sports teaches you to plan ahead, see through the consequences of your act. And this is so important for us army guys. You got to think and outthink the opponent. Only thing that we do is, instead of a sports opponent, we think of what the terrorist or the Pakistani will do. So that's the only difference that we have. Earnestness and sincerity. It teaches you not to take any situation lightly at all. At no point in time can you get into a sports field and say that I'm going to sit there on my haunches. You have to be whatever is your job, whether you're a fielder, whether you're a batsman, whether you're a wicket keeper, whether you're a bowler, you have to be constantly alert and you have to be sincere to the job that is being given to you. Because you are being observed by everybody and you have yourself got that position, so you need to do your best. Observation and analysis. Sports improves your observatory powers and analytical skills is very, very obvious, because unless you're observant, how would you outthink the opponent? How will you correctly analyze as to this is what the opponent is going to do? Whether it is a game of chess, I'm not saying chess, I'm not encouraging you to play chess, because chess is only mental and there's no physical activity except for moving your wrist a bit. So analysis in terms of, in fact, in the international arena, there's a lot of observation and analysis of the opponent's games by shooting videos and analyzing them minute to minute to understand as to what went wrong and what went right. Positive attitude. It's very simple. You have to have, irrespective of whether you win or lose, you have to have a positive attitude, and it will also determine how much ahead you will go in life, in those games and in life in general. And it teaches you that anything can happen. You win a game, you lose a game, doesn't matter. Life goes on and you can keep your chin up and go ahead. You know what I call, I practice that myself, an irrepressible positive attitude. So that is very, very important. You can have any setback in life. It doesn't, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But the fact remains that you can come out of it and you can be victorious in your life. Respect for the opponent is necessary, but don't let this overwhelm you. Don't get awed by the opponent. You can be fighting anybody. You can be fighting Muhammad Ali for all you can in your boxing ground. But let his personality not overwhelm you so much. But understand, respect him for what he is, for his talents, for his abilities. And you must make a plan for yourself. How will you overcome? Killer instinct. Now, killer instinct is very unique to sports people. You find that only among only two sets of people have it in great measure. One is the sports people, and the second is the armed forces guys. The armed forces killer instinct is slightly different. because the word killer is actual there, whereas here it is psychological. Killer instinct is when within the framework of fair play, if you are able to utilize any opportunity that is thrown by destiny at you, if you are able to use that opportunity in a positive manner and make your team win, that is killer instinct. If you watch some of the football games, you'll find there are a lot of people, there are 22 people chasing one ball. But how is it only that Ronaldo scores, or Ronaldinho scores, or a Messi scores? How is it that? Now, because that they are there at the correct time and they have that killer instinct. They know where the ball is going to come. They know here is an opportunity, and they know that I must seize this opportunity and score. Never give up attitude is the next one. However hopeless the situation is, you know how the fortunes seesaw in cricket matches. Nowadays, cricket is on. It goes up and down, and till the last ball is gone and the last run is scored, nothing is given up by anybody. Never give up attitude. There have been many cases where in international games, the last minute a goal has been scored. So no match is won till the last ball is bowled. Play to your strength, give it your best, enjoy the game. You have nothing to lose. The loss is not at the end. And there is no shame, disrespect, humiliation, provided you have given your best. If you have done your best, the whole world will acknowledge the fact that you are an excellent sportsman and you've given your best. May the best team win is the rule that we play by. Okay, the last part. Okay, there is a small aspect to anxiety. Please understand one thing, that a small amount of anxiety is always good for you. I'll tell you why. If you have a lackadaisical attitude and if you are bothered not at all for anything that happens around you, that only the saints could live up to that sort of philosophy in life. Now, we are not saints, we are human beings. So we need to be motivated. We need to be a little anxious to do things in a good manner. So a small amount of anxiety is always good. And connected to is the next point, which says that use that stress as a motivating factor to raise your performance to optimum levels, especially in crucial and crunch games. Use that stress, whether it is in life, you have a project coming up, a little bit of anxiety, even if you are an engineering student and you've got a project coming up, a little bit of anxiety is always good. Even psychologists agree on that. Next, never bother about the consequences. Just give it your best shot and enjoy the game. And believe me, like what they said in Three Idiots, success jhat maar ke piche aayega. Always have a positive body language and mental makeup. Your body language mostly will tell the opponent. In fact, today, very good teams, they have a psychiatrist with them to analyze the body language and the mental makeup of the opponent and tell them, ye banda weak hai, this side is weak, that's so on and so forth. There's a lot of activity which is associated with big time games because there is big time money in it. I am not asking you to start preparing for the Olympics tomorrow morning because you've got your own careers. But at the same time, give it, there is a requirement of work versus leisure balance. In fact, that's one thing that I've always found, and I've inculcated that in my family also. I've always found that, and we have found it to be very effective. And in the armed forces, we practice it very religiously because we ensure that work versus leisure, and leisure, I mean a game or a sport of your choice, that balance is extremely required and will stand you in great stead in maintaining a healthy life, a healthy attitude. Okay, I have finished. Are there any questions? I'll stop the screen share.
No, sir, I cannot see any questions in the chat box. But
Okay.
yes, I would like to request our students, if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat box.
Or if they're connected, they can ask me also. Not an issue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I presume there are no questions. So thank you very much to all of you. It's been such a pleasure interacting with you. And wish you all the very best and God bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that detailed talk and sharing your experiences. I'm sure all our students must have noted the importance of sports and the way it helps us to develop our personality. Dear all, we are towards now the end of our session. Let me take the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. So we would like to thank Brigadier Muralidharan and Colonel M. Giridhar for enlightening us on the topic role of sports in holistic personality development. It was truly an enriching session, sirs, and we are sure that our students will implement all the knowledge obtained today in their future. We thank you both once again for giving us your precious time and joining us for the 5th induction of MIT-ADT University. A special thanks to Professor Padmakar Fad, Director Sports, MIT-ADT University, for his guidance and contribution. May I now request the technical team to kindly play the video of Vishwanath Sports Meet to give a glimpse of grand sports event at our campus to all.
जा नस नस में तू जोश जगा कुछ भी नहीं आसान यहाँ अपनी राहें खुद ही बना मेहनत कर पसीना बहा रुकना और थकना है मना जीतना चाहे कर तू यहाँ कर खुद को तैयार जरा Get ready to fight Get ready to fight
The Vishwanath Sports Meet is
the VSM 2020 and it's a very great experience to be part of this event.
It was a very well organized tournament.
काफी अच्छा फेस्ट था और काफी स्पोर्ट्समैन स्पिरिट देखने को मिली.
VSM is a very nice platform for all the students. Sport always bring various nationality together.
The tournament was very well organized.
And it's an amazing feeling here. Infrastructures are very good here. This college is very nice. And I like the accommodation here. So the campus is such a huge campus. I love playing here.
It's just an amazing experience. This is the best we could have got. Yeah.
Get ready to fight. 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 We going in like there's nothing to lose, nothing to prove. It's all about positive attitude. Get down, the get back up again. Come on, shake up that false coat. Life is too short, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Professor Colonel Giridhar, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. You could really help us set the tone. As it was said that we run health practices courses for all first year, and these courses also carry 2 credits. So your session has really helped us, throw more light on this and how students can ensure that they remain physically fit as well as spiritually elevated. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Over to you, Professor Dipti.
Yeah.
God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Signing off for now. Signing off.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us. Dear students, please join us sharp at 2 p.m. for a very interesting session on understanding society and culture through literature by Dr. Nandita Krishna, an Indian author, environmentalist, and educationist. So thank you all. See you at 2.
Record.